all for coming. This is actually will be, I think, our fourth performance. I just want to say a little bit about how the group came together. This group is part of a project that was called the Medals All Round Initiative that is run by a project called Arts and Humanities Research Council funded project called Living Legacies 1914 to 18. And we are an engagement centre based between University of Ulster, Queen's, National Museums Northern Ireland, and a few other bits and pieces of universities tacked onto us. So we've been doing a lot of community engagement, and this was a drama project or a drama initiative. We had 5 different groups putting together their own drama projects across Northern Ireland. So this is the drama project from the Omagh area, for the Tyrone area. So we called the group Omagh Robins. And the reason they're called Omagh Robins is there's a little robin lives out there. This was our rehearsal space, and he came to our rehearsals every single week. So he is the Right Honourable Robin is our mascot, official, and we used to feed him every single week. So the play was put together, it was written by the members of the cast, and put together and staged and worked through and organised all by the members of the cast themselves. It is a short production, so it's only about 25 minutes. And it treats the World War I, Easter Rising. It's a bit of a combination, as you will see. I just want to mention a few words about the backdrops, because a lot of these photographs are from Norman Holland, photographer Norman Holland, but in the collection of a great friend of ours in this community. I would say not just the folk park in the Mellon Centre, but right across particularly the Omagh and Tyrone communities, and Fermanagh and so on, was Dr. Haldane Mitchell. And I just want, Dr. Haldane Mitchell passed away at the end of June, and I just want to ask Brian if he would say a few words of tribute to Haldane, but his photographs, this collection that he preserved, that is our backdrop.
Thanks, Joanne. Yes, just to remember Haldane, not every community across the island is so fortunate to having an individual who concerns himself or herself with documenting the life of the community. So Haldane Mitchell was the son of a GP in Omagh who became a local GP himself. It reminds me in some way of Frank Gallagher in his relation with his father that we were hearing about yesterday, that his father, as a rural GP, would take him out on his rounds with him, so he got an intimate knowledge growing up of Omagh and district. And he was a photographer himself, and he photographed, filmed the life of the community. And over the last part of his life, he devoted the last, how many volumes, Paddy? 22 images of Omagh, collections, photographs of Omagh and district, together with text, explanatory text. And we got involved. We're very glad that we did. With him and his colleague Michael Pollard from the West Tyrone Historical Society, we spent a couple of winters interviewing them about the photographs. So we've got quite a lot of material on tape, because like most local historians, that carry around a lot more information in their heads than ever manages to find its way into print. So we're lucky to have a store of conversations relating to the photographs of Omagh he took. But one project that came out of it was the decade of centenaries, was to use photographs that had appeared in his images of Omagh, but mostly from this collection by an Omagh man, Norman Holland, who lived through the Great War and photographed Omagh, various incidents in the history of Omagh during the First World War, and we were able to put those together in an exhibition which ran in the Ulster American Folk Park, and we have a digital version of that now online. So it was very sad. It's you expect, it's the usual story. You expect somebody like that to be with you forever, to be able to be a local resource to draw on for information about the local community. And he died, most of us, it was unexpected, just at the end of June this year. So it's just to remember him and local historians like him across the country, to whom we're indebted for our understanding of the life of the country at the local level, not just, like Patricia Craig was mentioning this morning, it's this relationship between the particular and the general. We're trying to understand the First World War, we're trying to understand 1916, we're trying to understand Dublin, the Rising, we're trying to understand the Somme. But one of the best ways of doing it is interpreting that through the world with which we're most familiar, which tends to be the place where we live. so whether it's Cavan or Omagh. So the photographs are in the background, and I think the previous performances, this adds to the atmosphere very much of helping to contextualise the action that we're about to see. Thanks, Jim.
So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to present the Omagh Robins production of a short play entitled Of Bicycles and Fallow Fields. Thank you.
In the early months of the Great War, a call went out from the 36th Ulster Division for men to join a newly formed cyclist company, a small but important unit. The first recruits pedalled from Belfast to Enniskillen in a bid to boost numbers, and en route passed through Omagh, where dozens of men joined up.
Just before the troops left for the front, officers placed an urgent order of 50 bicycles fitted with rifle straps from Steele's shop in High Street, Omagh. Raw army recruits and their bicycles trained at the camp at Barnscourt. 200 soldiers of the cyclist company provided reconnaissance at the front and set up Ulster's 1st Division of observation posts near the trenches.
They were summoned from the hillside, they were called in from the glen, and the country found them ready at the stirring call for men. Let no tears add to their hardship as the soldiers pass along, and although your heart is breaking, let me sing this cheery song. Keep the home fires burning while your hearts are yearning. Though your lads are far away, they dream of home. There's a silver lining through the dark that's shining. Turn the dark side inside out till the boys come home.
The morning was warm, yet I shivered. Someone was walking over my grave. The old adage came out unbidding. I have made this journey many times, bringing letters filled with love and longing for home. Today he carried a telegram, the third one in as many weeks. 3 strong sons hard reared, but now gone forever, leaving fallow fields that would bear witness to their loss for generations.
Dear Mum,
Dear brother,
Dear son,
Dear Aunt,
Dear wife,
dear Grandma,
Dear Diary,
Dear Mother,
dear Mum,
I've been thinking a lot about childhood memories, and you, of course. I miss you.
dear brother, glad to hear that you're all well and in good health, as this leaves me in the best of health at present.
to my son, it is not my wont or usual practice to write to you, as this is usually your dear mother's happy rule. But alas, this is not possible at this time.
Dear Aunt, just a few lines, hoping they will find you and all at home in the pink, as I am at present.
dear wife, I received your most kind and welcome letter all right, and I was very glad to hear from you and to see by it that you are going on so very well.
well, Grandma, you never told me you had 4 brothers who died. 4 brothers who were killed, who walked out through the door, one by one, by one, by one, and never came home. I think of you as you stood at the range, stirring those lovely pans of creamy rice and raisin pudding to put in the pantry to cool. No hint of your sadness in your eyes. Later I learned that your mother said it killed her, so I suppose that meant you lost her too. 4 brothers and a mother gone, and still you kept on living.
Dear Diary, Sunday the 4th of April, 1915, Wilton Hotel, London. Got up at 6:30, breakfast at 7 o'clock. Left hurriedly for Victoria Station where everyone had assembled before we got there. After a lot of goodbyes, the train starts. Thank goodness I had no relations to see me off. Goodbyes are terrible.
I hope you are, dear mother, I hope you are all keeping well. And don't worry about me, as I trust to God to be all right.
Do you remember the celebrations of the 50th anniversary of the Easter Rising? It was 1966, and I can still see vividly the sight of the parade coming up the Falls Road. And we were so excited, standing at the roundabout at Milltown Cemetery, looking down at all the banners.
We expect to move off during the night. We have everything ready now. Every man has been supplied with 150 rounds of ball ammunition. We have handled in our beds, so I don't think we'll be here much longer.
We are just behind the firing line here, but I have not been in the trenches yet, as we expect to go up any time.
Wednesday the 7th of April, Marseille. Had a good night, came down to breakfast late, coffee, roll and butter, 12 o'clock. Something very interesting has just happened. An Irish doctor who has been in Serbia, now on his way home, has been to the hotel. It was very interesting, except the part where he says, if we're going to keep well and do any work, we will have to smear ourselves all over with paraffin, the only precaution for typhus. The death rate is 70%, and he is the only doctor left out of 19.
I write simply that your brother John is dead. We've received communication from his commanding officer stating that he fell in the 3rd phase of the Battle of the Somme near Fleur-Courtelay on the morning of the 15th of September.
You never told me how you cried and how your childhood ended. You never made me grow up in the shadow of your sorrow, but always found pennies for midget gems and candy floss and sherbet dabs and ice cream cones and sliders. You urged us to the circus and spilled coins from your purse into the well you made in your lap with your apron to find the money for our tickets. And when I said I wanted to be a tightrope walker, you laid my skipping rope straight across the kitchen floor for me to walk on and told me to keep trying. Practice makes perfect.
I received your ever welcome letter today, also 2 parcels yesterday. I'm in the trenches at present, so I hope I will get out all right. So don't forget to say a prayer for me. I did not have a wash for 3 days, nor had I my clothes off since I left Barnshot. But I do not mind that as long as I am spared to enjoy myself afterwards.
I remember the music, the drums, and the buzz of the huge crowds, and Dad so proud and moved to tears. We were told that men had given their lives for Ireland, and this was our identity and heritage. As children, we felt strong and full and mesmerised.
I hope you will do your best to keep the home going until I return back to you with God's help. Do not let this letter upset you, as it may be all over when we get out there, but you never can tell. But cheer up your heart for my sake, and don't fret, for please God, I will come home safe to you again.
You needn't send any more scones, for it takes them that long to come on a hopper, but they are hard when they get to slim.
Don't forget to open the box and take everything out. And you are to wear Bob's suit. You can use a bicycle. I will not do it any harm in case I don't come back. You keep the cycle, and you may tell Fred to mind about the insurance book. It's in that drawer. Give Mother the book, and she can claim any money owing to me from the army.
And you needn't send any more oxo tubes either, for we are not allowed to light fires anymore.
Up to the present, I have had a fairly good time out here. The only drawback being no flags and no money. And that reminds me, should I get knocked out, you are my next of kin. And in the will I have made out, I have left everything to you. I don't suppose it will be a hell of a lot, but if it is anything worth dividing, you know what to do with it.
You needn't mind sending me the shortened drawers. For the last ones you sent me were taken out of my pack when we were in the trenches.
Thursday the 22nd of April, on the train. We get up at 5 o'clock and pack, leave the station at 8 o'clock. Had a good send-off. By 11 o'clock it crossed the frontier into Serbia. We crossed the bridge, the Austrians blew up on Good Friday. Now repaired. Train goes very slowly across. 2 o'clock we pass a spot quite close to the station where there are 50 fresh crosses, where the Austrians and Serbs had the last fight. 3 o'clock we pass beautiful scenery. 4 o'clock we boil water and make tea. Not an easy job on the train.
Tell Lizzie and Ned I was asking for them, and all the children. I hope you will do your best to keep yourself warm, and do not go out in the wet weather, as you know it's getting near the time for you to get that old rheumatism. Try and get a few bags of coal in for yourself before it goes up too much, and I will do my best for you.
For you never made me live your suffering. But when you sat on my bed, as I knelt at my bedside to rhyme my God bless us, were you then saying all their names? Names so deeply held within you that your lips did not even move. God bless Tommy. And God bless Harry. God bless Robert. And God bless John. And was it hard for you to keep on going when your mother had lost her will to live? Why did I not see the sadness that shrouded you, or understand your fragile footsteps, or your pain as you drew breath while they had died?
I know the shock that this brings to you, being so far away and serving with honour and bravery on the front. But I must tell you that your dear Mama has collapsed from the news of John's death, as if she died when John died. I ask you to write to her, but don't promise that you will return, if that is in God's hands only.
It is still very warm here during the day, but gets as cold as the poles in the night. And what with the guns roaring and the cold, coupled with a damn hard bed, it is very little sleep a fellow gets.
Saturday the 24th of April. We wake up at 5 o'clock and proceed to make a little tea in the train, and again pack up and get away at 8 o'clock, feeling very tired. Come out about 1.5 miles on a terrible road, which is worse than any bog road I have ever seen. Great holes which the old pair of horses have some narrow escapes from falling into. Eventually we sight our tents. Instead of getting breakfast and resting, we have to start work immediately to do navvy's work, carrying great bales. Our field is in the great racecourse, and so everyone slogs all day. I quite think my arms will come out of my sockets. 10 o'clock, I retire in a terrible tent with 5 others, no room to turn.
Because it was you. You were the one who took the bullets that ricocheted. Those flares exploded in your breast, forming hot, hard, molten cinders, and I did not even feel them when I leaned against you and you sang The Maid with the Nut Brown Hair warmly into my ear. because you didn't visit it on to the next generation. You chose instead to make for me a childhood of summers and sunshine, pulling rhubarb, shelling peas, making earrings from fuchsia bushes, with you there, always smiling. Then, on Sunday mornings, a regiment of white milk bottles, each with an arch of brown writing that reads, "The Old City Dairy," sits on the doorstep, and in front stand little bottles of Suki Suncap Orange for us to drink with our Sunday lunch, their caps gleaming brightly in the morning sun.
I have nothing more to tell you this time, but in case I get knocked over, I have willed all my money and belongings to you, hoping I will be spared to get all myself. You never told me Eileen McCormick got married, so don't forget next time you are writing.
You fight for freedom with God on your side, the prayers of your parents carrying you into this fight. I've always found it hard to express feelings and emotions to both of you. But I finish with tears falling on this paper and a love in my heart for my two sons that few men can ever express.
Saturday the 15th of May, Stobart Hospital, Sarajevo. Get up as usual, pouring wet day. We have now got accustomed to Wellington boots and skirts about our knickers. Patients are flocking in, poor small creatures, ill-fed and on the verge of death. We are still amputating arms, legs and feet. I got 5 new patients, one with bone disease in the leg, the result of a bullet wound which was neglected. One with all his toes dropped off because of frostbite. His feet will have to be amputated. One gets so tired looking at armless, eyeless, feetless men, and what a terrible curse war is. I got all my letters from home, posted 7 weeks ago, and they gave me some joy. I wash my columns, stockings and overalls. They dry in 5 minutes. We have dinner at 7:30 and afterwards a tea party in our tents, bed at 9 o'clock. We don't sleep outside now. Dot and Colleen nearly come to blows on women's suffrage. I have had a good day, plenty of hard work, but I'm so happy that thank God that God has been so kind to me to let me come here.
Now 50 years on, and the rising centenary is upon us. But there's another to remember also. We didn't know much about World War I. It was off limits, representing much of what was hated of the other side. But do you know what has happened since you've been gone, Mum? 2 people who you took a great interest in, Mary McAleese and the Queen, 2 women, They have acknowledged each other's dead, all those young lives taken. And by doing that, they have opened the way for old barriers to be overcome, an understanding of lives that were interwoven. It's a step. Remembering your laugh and your enduring spirit, Mum, your ever-loving daughter.
Send a few fags, if possible. Your affectionate nephew, Joe.
Tell Dad I shall write to him as soon as I get enough to tell him about. Give my best love to everyone at home. I often think about you all. No more at present, Christy.
So goodbye to all at home for the present, hoping with God's help to be home when this is over. So all I ask is to say some prayers for me. God bless all at home. I remain your loving son, Michael.
This war will destroy many families. Let ours endure this terrible test and return home, my dear surviving heroic son, your father.
So my dear wife, I conclude with fond loving to you and the children, hoping soon to be home with you from your loving husband, Goodbye, love. Right soon. Polly.
As I walk away, I can remember picking flowers for you from your garden. Tall, white Michaelmas daisies. I put them in the white enamel jug. You touch them softly and whisper. They live longer in the soil.
I'm getting old since he went away, and me sight is getting dim. I never asked to keep him back when they needed men like him. But he's lying now where the poppies grow, in the coat the bullets tore. But you what's a wheen of medals to me, when my poor wee lads no more.